Imagine the perfect video store. It would have a great selection, right? Right! Over 10,000 videos. 3 evening rentals, so no rush, no hassle. Fast checkout. 24-hour quick drop return. Open late every night. Well, the perfect video store.
Welcome to Blockbuster Video.
Blockbuster Video, yes. And for those of you that don't know, there is actually a documentary about the very last Blockbuster in the world. It still exists. The documentary is found on Netflix. It's called The Last Blockbuster. So if you haven't seen that, make sure you check it out. But today is Tuesday, and as typical with video rental stores, new movies come out on Tuesday for you to rent. So we're going to talk about a new movie that is actually an early rental. So it's not actually out on physical DVD, but the digital copy is available to rent. And that movie is The Little Things. So let's go ahead and jump right into this video. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Movie Time with Chris. The channel devoted specifically to movies, movie birthdays, movie reviews, trailer discussions, box office predictions, and some special videos along the way. Now, hey, if that sounds like something that you're into, if you love the movie reviews, if you want the trailer discussions, if you love to compete in box office predictions, if you just love movies, subscribe to this channel because you're going to get all that content and then some. Now, as I mentioned, today we're going to be discussing The Little Things. This movie is rated R. I watched it when it was on HBO Max when it came out. It actually was released January 29th of this year in theaters and on HBO Max. Excuse me. I actually had spinal surgery on January 25th and was still in the hospital being discharged that day on the 29th, but said, I'm going to watch this movie. So I went onto HBO Max, and while I was laying in the hospital bed, waiting to be discharged, I watched The Little Things. And then after that, I watched that movie about 3 more times. So I enjoyed it. But let's talk about this movie a little bit. I have my handy notebook. The movie was directed by John Lee Hancock. It stars Denzel Washington, Rami Malek, and Jared Leto. And, you know, a lot of people knock Jared Leto, but I think his performance in this movie was amazing. He pulled off the creepy guy so good. It gives you the willies watching his performance. But for those of you that haven't seen it or don't know much about this movie, let's go ahead and check out the trailer.
You know him, didn't you? Then you had that one little feeling. But you waved it away. You should have listened to that one little feeling. Just like I'm listening to you now. You can talk to me. I'm all the friend you got.
You're not exactly a department favorite. Things probably changed a lot since you left.
You still gotta catch him, right?
Yeah.
Not that much has changed then, right?
I can assure you all we are taking a 24/7 all-hands-on-deck approach to these cases.
Guy's a shark. If he stops, he dies. He likes to drive. Probably has a decent car, maybe 2, high mileage.
You must really like my car.
I do. How's the trunk space?
Something I gotta know. How's a guy with the best clearance rate in the department work 15 years without a promotion?
Maybe I didn't go to the right church.
When I look in your eyes, what I see, it ain't good.
He knew all the details, but he wasn't within 10 miles of the killing.
Why is that? Why is that?
How's the trunk space?
What do you want?
I want to nail the bastard.
For who?
For all of the girls he killed.
I want to nail the bastard too. difference is I'm doing it for me. It's the little things, Jimmy. It's the little things that rip you apart. It's the little things that get you caught.
Now, before I actually get into everything, I want to say that this video will have spoilers. So if you don't want to know what happens in this movie, back out of the video now. Or skip ahead. All right, so I've got to admit, when I watched this trailer, I thought that we were going to have something similar to that of Showtime's series Dexter. I thought that Denzel was going to be a cop who goes around and kills, bad guys. That's really what I thought the movie was. And I guess I got that from the scene with the digging of the holes. Or maybe the scene with Denzel sitting there and all the plastic bags around him. That's definitely a Dexter vibe. But I'm pleasantly surprised that that is not what you get in this movie. Hey guys, if you haven't taken a minute to subscribe, make sure you do that. It's free, takes 2 seconds, not even a minute, and it helps me out. So show some support, subscribe, and hit that like button. So I'm going to talk about the things I liked and the things I disliked about this movie. The things that I liked, I thoroughly enjoyed the acting. Again, these are all Academy Award winners in this movie, and they did a perfect job with it. You felt for all the characters, you understood their story, everything just flowed with it. So yes, the acting. And again, people are going to knock Jared Leto, but I think he did an amazing job as the creepy guy who even in the movie said that he's a crime buff. And, he knew all this stuff about all these crimes and everything. I don't know. I feel like from his character, I got a vibe similar to that of the movie Copycat, where, it's essentially a guy who just studied all these killers or crimes and knew them down to the very, or minute detail. And so that's the vibe I got from him. And it fit for this role. Another thing that I liked about this movie was the runtime. It was right in that Goldilocks zone for me. The movie is 2 hours and 8 minutes long, so 128 minutes. And it just, it worked. It really did. Nothing seemed rushed. Nothing seemed too dragged out. It was Goldilocks. It really was. It wasn't too hot. It wasn't too cold. It was just right. And the other thing I liked about this movie is that it kept me guessing.
I should thank you. I'd almost forgotten the excitement of not knowing. The delights of uncertainty.
I have it here in my notes. It made you think and talk about this movie days after you watched it. People that can knock this movie and talk about how bad it was, I bet you that 2 or 3 days after they watched it, they were still talking about it. Even if they were bad-mouthing it, they were still talking about this movie. And yeah, to me, that's a success with a movie. I've mentioned this before with Usual Suspects, with people not knowing what happened at the end for some reason, even though it's blatantly obvious. But it kept them thinking and talking about it. The same with Inception. When people watched Inception, afterwards they were wondering, Was he dreaming? Was he not dreaming? Was the top still spinning? Was it going to topple over? Even after they watched it. And to me, that's a success. If you can keep talking about and thinking about a movie days after you've watched it, that movie's a success. So this movie definitely did that. And I really enjoyed it because normally I'm able to predict what's going to happen in a movie. And the fact that I could not predict this one made it very enjoyable. It was delightful, as Dr. Manhattan says. The one thing that I didn't like about the movie was you don't know who done did it. You assume that it wasn't Jared Leto, obviously, because he said he always told the truth and he said he didn't kill the girl. But, he had all the markings of what you would see from a serial killer. And he had that one little spot in his apartment that was like under the tile that had the news clippings and the keepsakes. And so it makes you think if maybe he didn't kill these people, maybe he's killed someone before, maybe he was on that path to killing someone, who knows? But they never actually answer that. And that's like, I guess it's one of the good things, but also one of the bad things about this movie is that it leaves you questioning, who was it? Who did it? But it's still enjoyable. That's why I say it with a smile on my face. But overall, final thoughts. I know, overall. The movie did not give me what I expected, which is a good thing. Because again, I thought we were going to get something along the lines of Dexter, and they gave me something completely different, which I enjoyed. I was surprised and I enjoyed it. Jared Leto played a good creepy guy, Denzel looking to redeem himself, and Malik believable young cop. Yeah, that was a thing with Denzel. He was looking to redeem himself. He was this top-notch detective before who had a breakdown. And once he kind of comes back for different business, he still gets sucked in. It's kind of like, what Samuel L. Jackson says about SWAT.
Well, you know what they say, Gus. You're either SWAT or you're not. Yes, sir.
So yeah, you're either a detective or you're not. And he was. So he was going to detect stuff and figure out, what's the goings on. So, and Malik, believable young cop, he's a guy who's trying to prove himself. He just made detective recently, and here comes this legend. And why would you not want to follow the steps of a legend, So the whole movie overall was enjoyable. And that's why I gave this movie 4 out of 5 stars. Yeah, it was a good movie for me. I know people don't like it, and hey, that's their opinion, just like this is my opinion. But if you've seen the movie, leave your opinion in the comment section below. As always, make sure you check out the Instagram, Movie Time with Chris, where you're going to get little snippets of everything that's going to come on the YouTube channel. Speaking of the YouTube channel, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and ring that bell, because you don't want to miss any future videos that are going to be on this channel. Also, I'm on Twitter, so follow me there, Movie Time with C1, where you're going to get a heads up of everything that I'm going to be working on for the day for both Instagram, YouTube, and my blog. Make sure you follow me on Twitch, Movie Time with Chris, where I currently just do mobile gaming, but I am hoping to do Amazon Watch Party very soon. So follow me there and we'll watch a movie together. Make sure you check out my blog, www.movietimewithchris.com, where you're going to get a more in-depth analysis of everything that I talk about here on the YouTube channel. And lastly, if there's ever a topic you want to hear about or a movie that you want me to review, email me, movietimewithchris@gmail.com. I'm going to check that email multiple times a day. I will not miss your message, and the topic you want to hear about will be in a future video on this channel. But until next time, stay safe and take care.